Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a small town in Texas that hasn't had running water in its 142 years of history. Now, this is a majority black town. This story was shared with me by a number of you. Thank you for sharing it with me. It also came across my feed as well, as it is a recent release. But I do appreciate those of you who do share things with me just in case I didn't see it. But anyway, it says every drop of drinkable water in Sand Branch, Texas has to be shipped in. It's a small community and it has never had running water in its entire 142 years of existence, and its groundwater is contaminated. But neighboring cities such as Dallas, they do have running water. If I remember, I will leave a link in the description area so that you can see the video in its entirety. I do remember one excuse that they were giving for not providing running water for Sand Branch. They were saying that it is prone to flooding. And it was mentioned in the video that Sand Branch has never flooded. But Dallas, on the other hand, but yet Dallas has running water. So right away, we see that excuses are being made for not providing running water to this Sand Branch, Texas community, which is majority black. Right away, we see what is going on, how very clear it is. No running water for Sand Branch because they say it's not feasible. And they also say that it's a flood zone, but it's never flooded. But they do have running water for Dallas, which has flooded several times over the years, recently. Okay, so there is no mystery there. That is very clear what's happening, what's going on. But what I wanted to talk about is something a little bit different. We already see the discrimination is in plain sight. They don't hide it anymore. And so there's no sense of pretending that it doesn't exist. What I did want to say is this. We have to understand that there are regions around the world where they don't have what they call city water. Okay? As a matter of fact, there are regions in the United States where they do not have city water. So let me just bring you up to speed on what I'm talking about so that you can understand where I'm coming from. In the area we live in, they don't have city water in the rural areas. They don't. Everyone has a well. Did y'all catch that? Everyone has a well. And so they are saying the same thing for Sand Branch, Texas, that they have a well there too. They are neighboring Dallas. They have well systems there as well. One of the people in the video, he said that he drinks the water. He's been drinking it for years and he's fine. He's not sick. His animals drink it. And he tried to get the reporter to drink some and she says, I don't think so. Right? But I can understand they're being concerned about groundwater, but we have to understand even with city water, it's coming from the same place, family. The only thing is city water is treated with all kinds of chemicals. So whether you are drinking well water or water that is chemically treated by the city, you have to come up with your own water purification systems. So that was the point that I wanted to make here, that they have well water in Sand Branch. But there's this whole campaign on getting the city water there. Now, I know that a lot of people say, well, city water is convenient, but we don't understand that we can't say that it's any better than the well water, because both needs to be purified. That's the way I see it. You have to purify it, whether it's city water or whether it's groundwater from your well. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about with this is the fact that we seem to think that people are going to be fair with us when they've told us time and time again, with their mouths and with their actions, that they will not be. So why are we shocked and surprised? Like one of the ladies in the video said, she says, people come there and they talk about what's going on and what needs to be done to fix the problem and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that, but they are doing nothing. And so my thing is this. Why do we continue as a people to expect that people are going to do right by us? Understand where I'm coming from. In 142 years, they have not done right by this area. Or should I say, I'm not going to say haven't done right, but I'm going to say they haven't brought water or supplied water for that area. The reason I can't really say haven't done right is because there are many rural areas around the country that do not have city water. But they depend on well water. And if you depend on well water, it is up to you as the homeowner to be, I guess, your own purification, your water purification system. Because what the city does is they are, in many cases, contaminating the water too. If we really understood what happens and what goes on with city water, then maybe we wouldn't be so itching to get it. They put all kinds of chemicals in city water. So I'm thankful to those who take bottled water to that community every weekend. I'm grateful for that. But I want our people to start thinking out of the box. And so for those of you who say, well, what's your solution? Because I always get that. Although we've provided solution after solution over the years, and people don't really respond to that because it's not what they want to hear. They want to just continue to complain. But think about this. In some regions of the world, India, areas of Africa, and just many places around the world, they do not have running city water. They have well water or other sources of water. And so here is the solution. With this whole off-grid thing just exploding at the moment, you have people who are actually investing in their own personal cisterns or water catching systems. Okay, I know they can be expensive, but over time, that should be an investment for your family if you are concerned about your well water. And with those cisterns or those water catchment systems, you're catching the rainwater. Okay, whether it's rainwater, groundwater, city water, you still have to do some type of purification. I mean, that's where water comes from. It comes from the sky. Every drop of water that we get comes from the sky and the air. And so, if you're concerned about it coming from the rain, oh, but what if the rainwater is contaminated? Where do you think your groundwater comes from? Where do you think your city water comes from? But newsflash, for those of you who think city water is just what you need to survive, newsflash, a lot of water that goes through sewage plants is rerouted and cleansed and cleaned and chemically treated and rerouted back to your sink. Did you catch that? So city water is not as clean as people think it is. I understand the whole thing of why won't they do this for our community, and we know that why they won't do it. They don't want to make the investment because it's a black town. But instead of us waiting for another 142 years to go by, complaining, expecting, and thinking that if we march and sing and beg enough that they're going to have a heart and do it, look up other alternatives and other solutions. Of course, people will look at the story and they'll say, oh, what a shame. Oh, it's not fair. This, that, and the third. But instead of waiting for someone to do things, we have got to think outside of the box and do for ourselves as well. Because there's going to come a day and a time where even the city water systems are going to fail. It is going to be the people with wells that will have to be the saviors. I mean, we were even told by someone here locally that having a well is so important that if, just say someone bought land next to us, they said that you can allow your neighbors to tap into your well and pay you to use your water. This is what we were told. Not saying that we would do that because no one lives close enough by to do that. They have their own wells, you know. But I'm trying to make a point here that we can't look at the groundwater and the well water as if it's any worse than city water, especially when that water that they are trying to get, that they want so badly, is actually contaminated too by the chemicals that they use to treat the water. If you just do a general search on what they do to treat city water or town water or county water, whatever you want to call it, if you look up what they are putting in the water to treat it, maybe there would be a push to get it. Maybe we would say, I think I'm going to get some type of water purification system hooked up to my well instead. So I'm not trying to diminish the problem that these people believe they have. What I'm trying to say is, if no one is trying to provide you a solution, if any amount of complaining and murmuring about it is if it's not going to change the situation, don't we think that it's either time to just move on from that area or figure out something else? That's what I think. That's what I think. I'm actually glad that there is no city or county water where we are because, number one, I don't want the bill. Number two, I would much rather get some type of water purification system for the well that we have. Because it all, can I say this again? It all needs to be treated somehow. That's the point I wanted to make about this video, because a lot of people are just bothered by it. But I just wanted you all to be informed that there are a lot of towns, not just black towns, but there are a lot of towns throughout the country that do not have city water. Look at those who live in various areas of Nevada and Arizona, just different places like that. A lot of these people, black and white, have to have water trucked in. And they have to have rain catchment systems set up. As a matter of fact, we were just watching a video not long ago where it was a white family living off grid. Their grandparents have been living on the same land or not too far from that land for more than 40 years off grid with no water from the city. That they have installed their own water catchment systems to where they can catch and process the rain to service their house. So I'm not trying to make light of what they are going through or what they feel they're going through, but I'm trying to say that, look, family, we got to think outside of the box, because more and more things are going to be trimmed. They're going to be trimming the fat off the budget. And of course, black towns would be the first to get trimmed off. It is what it is. We've seen it happen. We know it's happening. But what are we going to do about it? Who are we going to call? What if we started to call ourselves? And what if we started to have meetings? Because they've been having meetings. People have been coming in saying this, that, and the third. But what if we had meetings on other solutions? Because guess what? Back in the prairie days, they didn't have running water either from the city. They had wells. So we got to keep those things in mind when we talk about these things, because we can no longer afford to depend on those outside of us to take care of us. We just can't afford to do that. I know this is not what some people were expecting to hear, but I'm just trying to be realistic. I'm trying to be realistic. I would say to the people of Sand Branch, Texas, if you have a well, maybe the community should come together. And first of all, having a well is a very valuable thing. Okay, that's the first thing. But maybe those in the community should come together and pool resources. If you all wanted to have some maybe city rain catchment systems installed initially, or some some containers, water containers, so you all can pump some of your well water and purify it and redistribute it to those in the community until you're able to afford to do something else, such as providing individual purification systems for your wells. That's just one thing, family. But there are so many things that can be done. I know it takes time and it takes money, but there's been, a lot of people over the years who have had the same thing, and many still now, same thing. And we are one of them. There is no city water in our area. We have to depend on well water. Anyway, I'm done with this video. I want to know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Just be honest. What do you think? Okay. In light of everything I said, including we've got to stop depending on other people because they've already told us that they don't want to do nothing for us. In light of everything I said, including the fact that there are people right now all around the world who don't have running city water. What do you think should be done in this case? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share and like this video, and with that, I'm out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.